So you want to be a TV news reporter? Thank God you're watching this video first. What's up guys, my name's Ashley. I'm a TV news reporter, voice actress, and entrepreneur. And in this video, I'm gonna go over 7 secret shortcuts to landing your first TV news reporter job. Before you send out all those applications, definitely watch this video all the way through. So you wanna be a TV news reporter? Run! I'm just kidding. TV news is a wonderful industry and you're truly making an impact on the world every single day with the stories you tell and the people you meet. And I'm gonna make a really bold statement right now, and that is, I think right now is the best time with the best opportunities to break into the TV news industry. But there's truly so many different things along the way that can really waste years of your life that you no longer need to, and I'm here to save you from that struggle. Before we get started, hit that like button and the subscribe button if you wanna see more of this kind of content. All right, let's get to it. Maybe you're watching this video because you're in high school and you're considering becoming a TV news reporter, or maybe you're in college majoring in broadcast journalism, or maybe you're someone like me who had a lot of background in broadcast journalism, but you also have a ton of other experience in other areas and you're like, I really want to enter the TV industry, but how do I really leverage everything I've done to have the best chances of getting my best first job in TV news? We're gonna go over all of that. So first off, one thing that you really do need that I haven't seen anyone bypass yet is a degree in broadcast journalism. And why this is so important isn't only the hands-on skills that you're gonna learn in writing, producing, creating news content, but there's a lot of ethics and law that goes into becoming a TV broadcaster. No matter what station you're at, no matter what country you're in, there's so much to being the person who is responsible for bringing a truthful, unbiased story to the television screens and to your community. So you're gonna learn a lot of those ethics and how to really write as a TV journalist in these types of programs. Now, if you've already majored in something else, it would be wise to even just take a couple classes, some elective classes, maybe after school, to at least have on your resume that you have studied this type of ethics and broadcast journalism. Again, it's really important. It's not just about putting something fun or interesting on TV. There's a lot that goes behind it when it comes to fact checking and making sure you're presenting the best possible story, again, that is unbiased and truthful and really going to impact your community. Number 2, you might have heard this from professors, but your reel is truly your calling card in this industry, especially if you want to be a TV news reporter or an anchor. They need to see what you look like, what you sound like in your TV news reel. I would argue that this is even more important than your resume. You could have a somewhat not as great resume and less experience, but have a stellar reel that really shows that you can pop on camera, that you could be engaging, tell a story, that you're comfortable talking to an audience, that you can put stories together. So your reel is going to be that major thing that you focus on as you're nearing the end of your program or as you are coming to that point where you are applying for TV news jobs. I am going to break down more of exactly what elements you're gonna want in your TV news reel in the next video, so definitely hit that subscribe button so you can see that next video. But a few quick tips now about that reel. You wanna make it quick, you wanna make it engaging, you wanna be telling real stories that are really happening so you can really recreate that so a news director or a news station can really picture you on the street representing that station. And of course, you want to make it as best as you can. You want it to be as polished as you can. And of course, you want your reel to be the absolute best representation of yourself and where you're at in your present career, even if you've never ever worked in TV news at all. It might be some of your college work or your college stand-ups, but this is something you're really gonna wanna polish, and so definitely be sure to check out that next video in the description below. But this is something that, because it's your calling card, sometimes you only have one shot to really make an impact. A lot of people only watch 5 to 10 seconds of your reel and will shut it off if you aren't exactly what they're looking for. Engaging, great storyteller, great presence, can communicate properly to the public. So definitely be sure to watch that next video so you can really hone in when you're in that reel making process. But this is 1000% your calling card. I would not apply for any news jobs until you have that reel made, especially if you want to be an on-camera talent. A third secret shortcut, getting really specific on the markets you want to work in. So of course, when you are approaching TV markets, there are 200 plus news stations out there throughout the country. And when you're looking at the market, the bigger the number of market, the smaller the community is. And when you're, going after your first news job, most likely not gonna land in a top 10, top 20, top 30 type of market. 10 years ago, you would be lucky to land in a top 100 market. And why I think this is such an amazing industry right now for you to land your first job in is because there's so many opportunities, because so many people have left the TV news industry, especially during the pandemic. So there's just a lot more opportunity, especially if you are a hustler who's committed to growth and really becoming the best storyteller you can be. So looking at all the different TV markets and all the cities you want to live in and being really specific versus just throwing your reel and resume anywhere. A lot of stations, news directors, managers will really gravitate towards the people who really want to be in that specific market. You have a reason you want to be there. Maybe there's family, maybe there's friends, maybe that's always the city that you've wanted to start in your industry. So it's really important to think about. It would be really smart if you haven't started college yet to think about a college that might be in that area. So you can intern at one of those stations and already have an in, or at least be in that same state that you want to get that first TV job. Any specific reason on why you're applying to that specific station will really help your chances and also just make you a lot more excited about applying to that station. And that will really come through in your outreaches and will just make you a more viable candidate. I also think it's a great opportunity to show how committed that you would be to that particular job if you're really invested in that area. So really hone in on all the different cities that you would be open to living to, and I would star all the ones that are your top ones. You're gonna wanna create an Excel sheet through all of this because this is a business and it should be treated like a business in your approach. You shouldn't just be blindly sending outreaches everywhere, which leads me to my next secret. So I think this is really important to develop a follow-up plan, and that is to really hone in on those top 50, 100 different cities that you would be open to living in, finding each of the stations that are in that specific city, and really putting all of that information on your Excel sheet and then making your outreaches. But not only are you gonna make that first initial outreach, you want a follow-up plan. And essentially, if you've been someone who has worked in sales, you know that you really don't want to stop following up until you get a yes. Should you be emailing news directors every day? No, of course not. But you should be following up with people every week until you hear a yes or a no. And you could really modify those outreaches and those follow-ups as you go. My fourth tip is to think about your career instead of, oh, where should I get that next job, of where do you want to be in 5 years? And I think this will really help dictate your next job and then the following 2 jobs after that. So if you really know, I really want to be in the South, I really want to end up in Tampa, or I really want to end up somewhere in Florida or South Carolina or Alabama or whatever it is, then I would pick a station that's closer in those regions, even if it's obviously a smaller market as your first job. So then you're already building those relationships with those communities. You already understand what is in the news, what is in the headlines, and that'll get you that much closer to that 5-year, to that 10-year plan versus just blindly submitting anywhere and hoping your one job in North Dakota will land you that Tampa job. I'm not saying it won't, but it's going to be a lot easier to show, hey, I worked in Fort Myers. Now I really know the Florida industry and would be a great candidate to work in the Tampa industry. So think of it as a long-term career and not just your very next step. Think, how's that next step going to be really applicable to all the other steps along the way? Secret shortcut number 5 is doing extensive research on all of those different jobs in the cities that you would want to work in. This means going on LinkedIn, this means going on all of the job sites, but it also means going to every single news station in the city that you would want to work in and going to their website. And on their website, there might be jobs on their website that they haven't yet posted on LinkedIn, that they haven't yet posted on the job sites. Even more so, a little top super secret tip is that even if there isn't an opening, it's a great idea to reach out to that station, managers, the news directors, and really start that relationship now. People really like hustle, they really like initiative, especially in TV news. This is an industry that is 100% about really taking ownership and leadership and going after stories and being brave and making the calls and doing the door knocks and doing all the things that might be a little scary for most people, and showing that, hey, I might be scared too, but I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna be brave about it. And that is the exact idea that you want to have when approaching stations. You want to approach them with the mindset of, hey, I'm a great product and I think I would make a really great asset to your team. Lucky for you, you don't have to blindly create an Excel sheet for yourself. I've included a breakdown that you can use in the description below, so definitely check that out when you are doing all of your research on the different news stations in different markets and creating your follow-up strategy. Those follow-ups could include emails, they could include hard copy outreaches, it can also include social touches like on LinkedIn, and also, the brave thing, which is making a phone call. So I don't think you can ever be too pushy as long as you're being self-aware when getting your job. And this applies to any industry. No one wants to be harassed every single day. It's being really self-aware. It's having respect for the news industry and that station and what they're already dealing with every single day. A great mindset to have in this entire process is that you are an answer to their problem. You are the solution. And if you think of it like that, you will be just so much more confident reaching out to news stations. And this applies in really any industry. If you are the answer that they are looking for, then make it super easy and super simple and super obvious that you are exactly what they need. Eliminate any other choice from their mindset, and of course, save them so much time and energy from going through a million applicants when you are providing the best product possible for where you're at, and again, being that answer to the problem that they are looking for. Another top tip I have is leaning into your not so obvious skills. So if you are entering the TV industry now, you will see that it's really rare that you're gonna go straight to being a TV news reporter or an anchor or what have you without being a multimedia journalist. Nowadays, you are much more likely to get a job as a multimedia journalist or a multi-skilled journalist. These are also called MMJs or MSJs, and you've probably learned this in college, but nowadays you are pitching, writing, shooting, editing, and going on air all by yourself. A lot of times, if you're going live, you will most likely have a photographer, but in your everyday workflow, you want to be thinking that you want the most skills possible. So maybe you have a YouTube channel. Maybe you are really, really good at editing on Final Cut, Adobe Premiere, Edius, whatever it is. You definitely want to make sure that you are sharing those skills in your resume and in your outreaches. Maybe you have a huge social media following. Definitely include that. You are showing them that you already have a loyal audience that will follow you and will just be a part of the journey. And that looks very, very attractive to a lot of stations across the country. So lean in to those not so obvious skills. Another top tip that can be kind of scary depending on your personality is really using the resources around you. So do you have any alumni? Do you have any acquaintances or friends that are at different stations that you think you'd be great at? Well, reach out to them. Maybe you send them a little Facebook message and you just want to hear more about their story or their journey and want to hear how they like their station. Definitely don't be scared to use the things that you already have. Maybe you have a whole network of alumni that you're not even aware of. Maybe it's your professor that might be able to recommend you to a job. Maybe it's your internship, seeing if they have any recommendations or if they would write a letter of referral for you or call one of their first stations. So it's really important. This is definitely a business like most businesses where you want to use what you've already developed and what you already have to really maximize your opportunities. I really do believe that this is the best time to enter the TV news industry with so many opportunities, with you being able to land probably so many more markets that are higher than you would even think, or have so much more opportunity for growth than you've ever been able to have because of the need for more people in this industry, and already start viewing yourself mentally as the job you want. I know they always say that you want to dress like the job you want, not the job you have, but it's also a mindset thing. You want to start thinking and feeling and believing and creating habits that are like the person you want to be, that is in that position that you want to be. I'm constantly studying journalists that are so much further along in their career than I am. I'm constantly studying better TV presence, better story ideas, everything. This is an ongoing journey of getting better every single day by 1%. and I hope this video really helps you land that first TV news job. I hope this video gives you just a lot of relief about this whole process and a lot of hope and belief too, because you really can do it. It is a beautiful industry, and I am touched so many days a week by the kinds of people I meet and the stories I get to tell, and there's really nothing like it, truly. And if you are just someone who is very passionate about this and really excited, do everything possible that it takes to have that best first impression, to land that first TV news reporter job. And I'm so excited to hear when you do. Definitely leave me a comment with any other questions that you might have below. And if you haven't already made that first TV news reel, watch the next video of how to make a killer first TV news reporter reel in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Also, let me know in the comments below, what was an aha moment for you? What was something that made you think, oh wow, I never thought of that? Or is there something that you have done that has really helped you break into the TV news industry? I wanna hear from you. Never stop learning, never stop growing. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Ashley. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and of course the bell. Hit all the things, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.